guys, and welcome back to my channel and welcome to today's video. So today I'm here to check in for the second week of April. So we're going to start with the categories that are variable categories, that are ones that I like to track every single week, because those are either categories that we tend to like overspend or just need to watch, or just areas where I like to keep track and see how we're doing. Sometimes we can make adjustments to our spending and stay on track with our spending. And other times we just decide, you know what, it is what it is, and we can go forward. So I love these weekly check-ins because I never feel blindsided at the end of the month. I always kind of have an idea, okay, like we're gonna be over on groceries, or we're gonna be under in here, or if there's something that we need to purchase and we know that we're under, that means that we can go ahead and do it, or whatever the case may be. So those categories that I like to track are groceries, eating out, household, gas, and unbudgeted. I swear I say this every time, but if you're new, I just wanted to like mention that. Everything you guys see here in terms of stickers are from my Etsy shop. I do have a link down below. I have a Facebook group. I have a Instagram page. So if you want to go ahead and follow those, definitely do that. I post updates and stuff like that. So yeah, and then the planner is actually from Erin Condren. This is a 7x9 monthly planner. I will have it linked down below. I love this planner because it's basically just a monthly view and then a bunch of blank notes pages, so you can really make it your own, set up your budget schedules exactly the way that you want to do it, and there's a lot of flexibility with it. So just figured I'd mention that before we hop in. So let's start with groceries. When we left off last week, we were doing really well. We still had over what we budgeted for the month. When we left off week one, we had $131 per week remaining for groceries, and I normally budget $125, so we're doing great there. So let's go ahead and take a look at all of the pink items. I have a little key here of all of my categories. So groceries are going to be in pink. So we had Aldi of $31.45. We actually also went to IKEA for $10.75. The IKEA was us just like grabbing food and eating in the car because we went there to check out some desks and stuff. I'm trying to get things ready to have someone come and work for me. I mentioned that in another like day in the life video. So we went there, we decided we'll just grab food and eat in the car. It was actually kind of a nice day, so it worked out nice, but that was only $10.75. And then Jason went to Jewel, that was $24.90. And then again to Aldi, and that was $37.65. So that brings us to a total for the week of $104.75. So again, a lot lower than what I budgeted, which gives us a lot of wiggle room, which is good. So $104.75. Last time we checked in, we had remaining $393.33, which means that we currently have $288.58. And I like to do this per week because again, we go grocery shopping every week. So it just makes sense for me to divide it by the number of Mondays that we have left. So we have 2 more Mondays for the month. So if I divide that by 2, that gives us $144.29. So that is quite a bit. Again, I budget $125 per week. So the fact that we have almost an extra $25 per week, that's great. It's also something that we can keep in mind. Now that we have been under so much, we can definitely think, okay, maybe we can have a nicer dinner one night. Or maybe this is something that if we can maintain it, maybe we can lower our budget next month. I don't think that's gonna be the case. I think it's kind of a random thing that we just haven't had a ton of items that we need to purchase. Like some of the things that cost a little bit more money, we've stocked up on in March. So now we're just gonna have to, pay for those towards the end of April or maybe even May. But anyway, just wanted to give you guys an idea of what you can do using some of this information. Next is gonna be eating out. So for eating out, we had 2 different transactions here. So Jason went to Portillo's, that was $5.26. And then we picked up from like one of my favorite restaurants. It's like an Italian restaurant. I love their lasagna. I think we've had lasagna like at least a couple times a month since March or February. So that was $28.02. which brings us to a total spent of $33.28 for the week. And last time we checked in, we had $154.11 remaining. So we have $120.83 remaining for the month. If I divide that by the number of weekends we have left, we have 2 left. So that means that we have $60.42 remaining per week. That's great. Like, that is quite a bit of money. We haven't been doing our normal, like, getting Dunkin' for breakfast during the weekends. Like, we would normally do that Saturday morning. Then we would have, you know, dinner at night. We would order something in or whatever. We haven't been doing the Dunkin' on Saturdays, and I think that is what is contributing to us spending a little bit less, because with my coffee, Jason would normally get coffee with all the wake up wraps, donuts, like it just ends up adding up quite a bit. So I think that's the reason why. And also, again, we've been eating at home a little bit more. We've been really using a lot of the like leftovers that we have, and also we have a bunch of like freezer things, so we've been using that one day a week. So anyway, we're doing pretty well. I'm like honestly really shocked with how well we're doing when it comes to groceries and eating out. So just something nice that, you know, we can kind of pat ourselves on the back for. Next is going to be household. So for household, we had Target of $15.62, and then we had an Amazon purchase of $30.08, which brings us to $45.70. $45.70. Last time we checked in, we had $45.60, so we are slightly over by 10 cents. So not too bad. I honestly, when I was going to buy things, I didn't even check that. So I feel like that's pretty good, the fact that we're only over by 10 cents. But that's something that we have to keep in mind, because now if we, you know, need to purchase anything else, we are going to have to like decide to go over budget, or maybe we can, you know, delay it and do it in May instead. So for these purchases, I did get a haircut, so I'll kind of mention that in a second, but I did get a haircut. I got my hair re-dyed to be like darker, because I was never happy with the color that they did last year. Like, it just was way too orange, gold, yellow. I don't know what the terms are, but I didn't want it to be like more orange. And when I talked to the person yesterday, she mentioned that that means warm tones. So I guess what I wanted was like more cool tones. So I definitely have other colors in my hair, because they did like a foliage or something like that. Anyway, with that being said, I did have to get some sulfate shampoo, like sulfate free shampoo, and I purchased it a while ago, and so I ran out, so I needed to purchase that on Amazon again. That was $30.08. Next, move on to gas. So we filled up, ooh, did I record the 24? Yes, I did. I forgot to mark that off. Okay, so we filled up both cars, and that was $23.38, and then the RAV4 was $38.92. I definitely feel like gas has gone up. I can tell, especially with Jason's car, because his car, like, it has more gallons as it is, but it just tends to get closer to like the $40 mark instead of 30, and it's just crazy. So anyway, I just figured I'd mention that. I'm definitely noticing it with our budget, and something that we may need to consider in the future when it comes to budgeting. So we currently have $38.17 for gas left. We will probably have to fill up both cars, which will mean that we'll be over, because again, 62 is around what it would take to fill up both cars. So again, I may need to increase it to more like 150 going forward. I will, like, you know, see how we're doing in week 3 and week 4, and then maybe I'll adjust it up for May. For unbudgeted, we have nothing, and I think I mentioned last time, but I do anticipate some medical bills coming in. Those have not come in yet. I saw like an explanation of benefits on my portal through Blue Cross and Blue Shield. They may be like adjusting it again, but I have a feeling that we're gonna have some medical bills come in. We do have a sinking fund for medical, so that's not really something that we have to worry about being unbudgeted, but for some reason it just kind of always reminds me of that. Okay, so nothing for unbudgeted, so we're doing really well. One thing that is higher than what I anticipated for the month is actually haircuts. So if you take a look at our cash dividers, we budgeted $330 for cash dividers. That includes my allowance, Jason's allowance, Macy's, chore money. It also includes like a haircut for Jason, my eyebrows to get done. I never budget anything for my haircuts because honestly, I get my haircut maybe once a year and I never really budget for that. I think going forward, depending on how my hair is maintained, like I mentioned, I got it dyed again. And so depending on how it goes and how the color stays, I may need to put together like a sinking fund for my haircut specifically, and also like to get the toner redone and stuff like that. I'm gonna see how it goes in April, and then towards the end of April I may put together a sinking fund for my haircuts, because when I get my haircut done, I mean, the cut itself is usually over $50, and then when you like do like balayage and stuff like that, it just ends up being a little bit more. So this month it's going to mean that we're over for cash dividers, because I'm going to include the haircut that I got in our cash divider category. So that's just going to mean that we're over there. But my haircut with the color, with the blue shampoo, all of that stuff was $311, which is insane. In the past, I would include that with like my allowance. I would like use my allowance to pay for that, but I figured Jason gets haircut money every single month. I just need to be better about budgeting for it and planning for it, because I know every year I get my haircut. I don't know why I've never really put, you know, a name to it or whatever. So anyway, just figured I'd mention that. That's not like something that happens all the time. Like I said, I probably go once a year to get my hair cut, and then if I do color it, that's when I'll do it. So I don't have a ton of stuff with that, like a ton of expenses that go along with it, but that's definitely like out of the ordinary. With that being said, I'm going to try and put together a plan so that I don't have like huge overages. So if that means making a sinking fund and putting a little bit away every single month, I'll do that. I honestly don't know. I do have a sinking fund for beauty. That is more for like my foundation and for my face wash. And I thought about maybe using that for the haircut and for like the dye and stuff, but that would have like taken away all the money that I need, because I do need to purchase new face wash and new foundation. So I just decided to do it this way. That's one thing about budgeting that I don't think that a lot of people understand. You can break your budget. Like, you don't have to do it because you wrote it down at one point during the month. Like, I, in the beginning of the month, was kind of thinking about getting a haircut, but it wasn't really bothering me too much. With my haircut and with like the dye and stuff, I feel like I just need to get to a point where I'm just so sick of it that I can't stand it anymore. And that's the point that I got to this past week. And I'm like, you know what? I have to do something. I can't stand my hair being this long anymore. And I can't stand the color anymore. I just can't do it. Like, I put up with it for a whole year. So anyway, I just figured I'd mention that. Just know that like a budget is a plan, and you are planning out your finances, and sometimes things happen and it doesn't necessarily go along with the plan, and that is okay. Like, I in the past have really not liked being over budget. I didn't like having unbudgeted items, and I feel like for the most part our budget is set up so that we don't have a ton of that anymore. But there are situations where like sometimes it's not all financial, like sometimes it's just emotional. I couldn't handle my hair anymore. I was so sick of it, and so I'm like, you know what? I never do anything for me. I'm gonna spend a little bit of money, I'm gonna get my hair fixed the way that I want it to be, and that's okay. So I figured I'd mention that to anybody who's struggling with budgeting and just feeling like restricted by your budget. You don't have to be. It's just a plan. You can make adjustments. Don't feel bad. It's okay to do something for yourself once in a while. So anyway, with my allowance, I do track my allowance here. Instead of doing like all cash, which doesn't make sense for me because a lot of stuff is electronic for me, like I'm just paying using my card anyway, I have been tracking my allowance over here. So I have had a lot of things go through. I forgot to cancel my Kindle Unlimited, which was $10. So I did cancel that because I haven't been reading on my iPad, and I have so many books right now that I know I'm not going to be able to do it anytime soon, so I may reevaluate that later. I had my book of the month come through. That was $16.11. I purchased a couple lunches. Target, what was that for? I honestly don't remember what that was for. Target, what did I buy from Target? Maybe books? I have no idea. I filled up my Dunkin' card. I bought another book, more Dunkin', and so right now I have spent $99.29. So I am maxed out when it comes to my allowance. Again, I get $100, so that means that I have like, what, 69 cents or 61 cents. So anyway, I am done with my allowance. I know that there's, you know, I have no more wiggle room there. And then for sinking funds, I figured I'd kind of mention sinking fund stuff to you guys. So I picked up some clothes for the girls, and then I had a return. So that's kind of how I track return stuff here. Let me zoom in so you guys can see. We decided to pick up Macy some booster seats because we needed to transition Mila into like the convertible seats. So we took that out of diapers because we've had so much extra money in diapers. I went out to dinner with a friend, so I took that out of entertainment. I picked up clothes for the girls, mostly Macy, so I picked up some stuff from Carter's, also from Old Navy. So it was $86.79 and then $116.85. One of the things that I picked up from Carter's was actually like out of stock after the fact, so I think this $86.79 is actually going to be lower, and I'll just record that. Like I'll either white it out or I'll do kind of like a credit like I did here. Jason went to the driving range. That was $9, and then he picked up some stuff for like our lawnmower. He had to pick up something to like sharpen the blade and everything, so that was $17.27. So those are like normal transactions. We also had a few things happen over here. So our trash, we got billed for our trash, so that was $54.27. That's for 3 months. So we actually have quite a bit in here, and I think in May I'm going to adjust it because, again, I think this is as of, I want to say this is paid up until like June maybe. I'll have to check the bill again. So that means that we have like over another 3 months worth here, so we don't need to keep contributing as much. We also paid our water bill. That was $75.48, and we have, you know, $75 remaining. I mentioned this in a previous video, but our water tends to go up in the summertime because we're watering plants and the girls will play in a pool, all that fun stuff. So I am okay with the sinking fund for water being a little bit over because I know that our water bill will be a little bit higher in the summertime. I think sometimes it gets close to $100. So anyway, I just figured I'd mention it. Again, with sinking funds, you can scale it back, you can increase things, decrease things. You don't have to worry about being exact all the time. It's just not possible. It's just nice having like a dedicated amount for each item, I feel like, because without that, I would just feel like I don't have limits, or, you know, I could just spend as much as I want. With the girls' clothes, I knew that I had, you know, $450 to pick up clothes, and although I didn't spend nearly as much as I had there, if I wouldn't have had that, I feel like it would have felt a little bit more like, oh, I could just purchase whatever. Like I could purchase, oh, this cute dress or that. And I don't know. I just feel like having set amounts for each category helps me personally to stick to a set amount for what I want to spend. Although, again, I can increase things, decrease things. I just feel like with sinking funds, I know by now, like I've been doing this for so long, that I have an idea of what things are going to cost, and it's easier for me to do it that way. But anyway, figured I'd mention that. I did pick up clothes for myself. That was $77.98. I don't know if I skipped over that. I'm actually returning all of those things. I picked up a couple dresses and then a bathing suit, and the dresses were okay, nothing special, so I decided not to keep them. And then the bathing suit, like there is no way that I'm wearing that bathing suit this summer. I have work to do. So anyway, I'm probably gonna pick up a different bathing suit, one that I feel more comfortable wearing with the girls and stuff like that. But yeah, I just figured I'd mention what's been going on financially with us. I hope you guys enjoyed getting a little overview of what is happening. This month is a crazy month, although you don't see it necessarily in our family budget. with my business budget, it's insane because I'm doing a lot of investments in things for the future, and you guys will hopefully see those things pretty soon. I would say either in May or maybe the latest June, but a lot of things that I'm working on for my shop, and I am super excited about it, but it means a lot of upfront costs. So this month is going to be interesting because for the most part, we save money every month. It may not be a ton, but we do save something. This month, I don't know. We may be using some of our savings to fund like our normal life and also some of the business venture things that I'm working on, which is okay. Like, I was kind of putting off doing some of these bigger items because I knew we were buying a new house. Now that I know that we're gonna be sticking around a little bit, I'm like, you know what? It's okay. Like, sometimes you have to invest a little bit in order for, you know, your business to grow and whatever else, and that's totally okay. So anyway, that is it for this weekly check-in. Let me know how you guys are doing down below. Are you guys having a great month? Are you sticking to your budget? Do you have a lot of things going on? I feel like for us, this month has been going pretty well, like I said, for our family budget, so that's always kind of refreshing and nice, especially because with the summer, there's gonna be a lot of things going on. I'm super excited too because next month in May will be the last month that we have our tuition payment for Macy, which is a lot of money, so I'm excited to have that gone for a little bit. And yeah, so anyway, let me know how you guys are doing down below, and I will see you guys next time. Bye guys.